Good evening. The South Island's two chip mills today denied statements by conservationists that beech forests are being panic-felled by owners trying to beat a government ban on the export of native wood chips. Conservationists say the large stockpile of logs at Southland's Awarua chip mill is evidence of the panic logging. But the mill says that's just not true. Kathy Graham reports.
Conservationists have always taken an interest in Awarua's stockpile of logs. Their concern's been to stop logging of native hardwoods. In March, the government announced it would ban the export of native hardwood chips, logs and sawn timber, but it didn't announce when. Since then, conservationists say private owners of native forest stands have been panic felling them, hoping to beat the ban.
Our case as Southlanders is based on observation of this time of the year of the amount of logs that are situated in the Invercargill chip mill, and it's very distressing, to say the least.
Well, that's total rubbish. To my knowledge, there isn't one more logging operation in Southland that has resulted since the government's policy decision.
When we flew over the Llewellyn forest west of Tuatapere today, it was hard to find the logging gangs, but there was evidence of where they've been. There appears to have been no undue increase in their activity. Recent dry weathers favoured hardwood logging, and a priority shipment of softwoods put hardwood chipping on hold, making the stockpile at Awarua about double its usual size. And uncertain markets also swelled the pile of softwood at the mill. To take that as evidence there's been panic felling, according to the mill, is just not true.
The 13 occupants of a Dunedin house which burned down yesterday escaped with their lives, but little else. Today they've been trying to sort out where they go from here. As Mark Price reports, the society which ran the community house faces some fairly tough economic problems.
For 18 months, the Manor Place house has been home to young people in trouble with the law. On Sunday morning, someone burnt it down. Eldest Chandler, her husband and two of her children are without a home or anything else for that matter. And for 7 young criminal offenders the family was looking after, it's the end of a brief period of stability.
I'd been here for about 2.5 months. I only had about 2.5 months to do.
And how many burglaries have you committed since you've been staying here?
None. I've just kept out of trouble completely since I've been here. So it is helping. It is a good place. It helps you to keep you out of trouble and that. Oh, it's, more support sort of thing. It's got a lot of support here.
Help you get here.
Yeah.
You think you need support?
Oh, yeah. Otherwise you just go loose. You just get out of jail and you just do something else. Go straight back into jail again. So at least this place was helping you to stay out of trouble.
The lady who runs the house, she's been a great help to all of us.
Yeah. See, they spent quite a bit of time on this place and helping people out, so they lost everything that they had.
Thousands of dollars of government money have been spent on the house operated by an incorporated society. With arson as the cause of the fire, there's concern about insurance.
We're not too sure on how they stand because it was an arson job. That puts us in unknown ground, so we're negotiating that to find out what the story there is. But really, we need to be operational again by the end of the week. We still have 8 residents that we need to find a place for. These are guys who we have on community care contracts or referred by the Justice Department or from social welfare or whatever.
The society meets tonight to consider its position.
What's being described as a hugely successful appeal for child cancer may have raised close to $300,000. Volunteers throughout the region rang more than 80,000 private telephone numbers at the weekend asking for donations. It will probably be next month before there's a final tally. When you have a birthday, you normally get presents, but the Otago Motorcycle Club is turning that around this year. It's celebrating the 10th anniversary of its famous Brass Monkey Rally soon. So to mark the event, members are presenting a gift to the Dunedin Hospital. Some of the proceeds from the past 10 rallies have been used to buy 3 digital thermometers. These gadgets have got it all over the old Mercury models. They record temperatures instantly and accurately. The reading might be lower than that after the Brass Monkey Rally, though. While most 1990s celebrations focus on 150 years of New Zealand history, the people of North Otago were reflecting at the weekend on life in their region more than 1,000 years ago. The Governor-General, Sir Paul Reeves, opened an exhibition of artefacts from a site where it's believed some of the country's very first Polynesian immigrants settled. Mark Price has been there.
The alluvial plains of the Waitaki River Valley near Oamaru came to be the home of the nomadic Waitaha, who probably arrived from the north about 850 AD. Early on Saturday morning, it was members of the National Maori Brass Band which came from the north to acknowledge their ancestors. Several of these young players can claim to be Waitaha. Some of what's left of that ancient civilization has been brought together in an exhibition, officially opened by Sir Paul Reeves.
And so this exhibition stands as a comment, an element, something that we should take into our lives as we think not simply of the 1,000 years that have gone, but of the 1,000 years that are still to come.
The Waitaha hunted the moa, but while their tools tell one story, modern descendants have other conclusions to draw from what hasn't been found.
Hundreds of artefacts that have been found around here of the Waitaha. Not one of them is an artefact of war. They symbolise or indicate, bear evidence to the industry of Waitaha. They are all artefacts of industry, not one of war.
Many of the artefacts were gathered up by the man who farmed the land in the 1950s, the late Stuart Willits. Today on the site there's nothing really left to show that perhaps as many as 3,000 people lived here for centuries, plying the waters of the Waitaki and Mokihi.
The hunting parties would hunt along the plains and the foothills and even up into the higher land, and every so often they had their storehouses. When they got as far back as they wished to go, they would then build the mokihi, which was possibly more in terms of a raft or rafts, sail them down and call into each storehouse and load their food onto that craft and sail it down here back to the kaikia.
The ancient Waitaha treasures will be on show at the Forester Gallery in Oamaru until June the 3rd.
Ever seen a horse race with only 3 starters? Well, it happened today at Wingatui when the Otago Hunt Cup was raced for. Kit Nicholson was out there, probably because he had a chance of picking a horse that would run either first, second or third.
Originally there were 6 in the field, but half that number scratched, leaving 2 proven champions in Derry Donnell and Lord Venture, and a maiden jumper in Echo Bay. But obviously the lack of starters was a big disappointment to the club in such a feature event.
Derry Donnell, he's a Australian Grand National winner. Lord Venture's a New Zealand Grand National winner. The class of horses there, but we lack in numbers. And as a maiden jumper in here, well, it's anybody's 4th start. It's very encouraging to see him line up against the good ones.
That'll be the sort of horse I go on. Well, having committed myself to the horse with no chance at all, the obvious thing happened. We didn't have time to get a bet on between the interview and the start of the race, and you've guessed it.
But he's starting to fight again on the inside. Derry Donnell is trying to cut him down. The Arco Bay has the lead now down towards the line, and the Arco Bay is going to get there. About 2.5 to 3 lengths on Derry Donnell.
It was a bit on the nose for you, Ken. We'll be back tomorrow night. Good night.